Hey, what is going on, guys? Pineapple Swayers. I'm bringing you guys some Persona 5 Royal today. Just going to be ranting about some random stuff that's going on in the gaming world, since, I like to drop my opinion on this, since this is a pretty popular topic as I'm making this video at 4 o'clock in the morning. Um, and that is the Nintendo Direct. The Nintendo Direct was really great. I liked all the games that they showed off, and in all honesty, thought it was really cool what they were showing off, and in my opinion, there were some really good games, some really good reveals, and it's cool to see games that are well known on the console coming over to the Nintendo Switch. But there's a big problem, and that is Nintendo showcasing its greed. And I just wanted to say that this could be a big problem for the gaming industry in the future. And what I mean by that is simply the fact that, with them pricing games at $80 digital and, $90 physical, other companies will follow as well, making, just sort of just this effect on the gaming industry of making everything more expensive. And it also opens up the fact that when Grand Theft Auto 6 eventually comes out sometime this year, there's been rumors going around that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to cost $100, retail. And it's just, no game is worth $100, at all. It's steep enough, and, now to spend $70 on a game. Even back in the day, it was hard to justify spending $60 a game, but now seeing Nintendo sort of taking this leap, if you will, in terms of greed, and saying, hey, we're going to price our games at $90 and you're going to buy it. We're going to make you buy it. And you don't even own the game. I've seen a lot of, YouTubers talk about this as well, that, you don't even own the game. Like when you buy a physical cartridge, it has to download via the internet. So what does that mean for like players that are offline that don't have access to internet connection? Are they going to be unable to download their games entirely? And that's what it sounds like. And, I'm not saying like, oh, we need to boycott Nintendo, but, something needs to be done, in all honesty, because this could be very bad for the gaming industry, and it could really hurt a lot of people, by having to spend a lot more money on games. And I know what people will say, like, oh, you're just broke, but it's not the fact that, like, we're broke. It's just, it's not justifiable to be spending $80, $90 on a game, especially on a console that is equivalent to the power of a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One. I mean, people forget that the Switch is really far behind in terms of, technology, and, there's nothing wrong with that. But, the real reason why you buy a Switch is, you get access to these really cool games. They're only going to be exclusive for the Nintendo Switch. But, like, in all honesty, a lot of the games for the Nintendo Switch that are exclusive for the Switch just haven't been great. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a big fan of Pokemon, like, I love the Pokemon games. And, none of the Pokemon games on the original Nintendo Switch were really all that great. They were kind of just whatever. Like, the remasters were great, and, the remakes of previous installments of Pokemon. But everything else was just a mess, and it couldn't run on the Switch properly. Like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I can't think of the other one. Like, Arceus Legends. I mean, they were all just terrible. And sure, they had their moments, but, like, the Switch isn't this crazy generational console that's really going to change the world. And in my opinion, I'm kind of feeling like that the Switch 2 will be a lot like the Wii U. I don't think it'll sell well, and I don't think Nintendo is going to stand on this for very long with the pricing of current games. And, I know a lot of people, like, too, like, the physical games people, like, they don't play. Like, if you mess with their physical games, they're going to make sure you hear it, and it's going to be a difficult, battle for them, especially knowing, too, now that basically buying physical games are seemingly pointless. And knowing that you no longer own the game is just baffling to me. And, with that being said, buying a game And you know, the concept of buying and owning something is just sort of obsolete now in terms of the gaming world. And like for me, like obviously I'm still gonna be a fan and play games, and you know, I'll probably be a sucker and buy, you know, when games increase to $100, I'll probably still buy them because, you know, it's what I do, you know, like I obviously create content, but like for people that, you know, aren't fortunate like me, you know, I can definitely see, like, especially like children, for example, like children, like having to beg their parents to spend $100 just to buy a game that they may not even play, that they may not even like. You know, it's just, this just isn't a good look for the gaming world. Not only is Nintendo showing their greed, but they're playing the card of, we know people are going to buy this, we know that this is going to sell, and we don't care what people think, we don't care what people say, we're going to make a ton of money from this. And I think in all honesty, it's something that people should step up towards and be like, you know, no, we're not going to buy this, because it's completely stupid that you are selling this for this price, you know? It's just outrageous in all honesty. And sure, like honestly, in my opinion, the console price itself isn't bad, you know? Like I actually think the console price is pretty fair. It's just the games, you know, the games are expensive. And, you know, obviously people are going to follow Nintendo. Most likely, most game companies are going to follow Nintendo. However, I mean, I have seen online that some games will be listed at $70 retail, which is what, you know, the average game is right now. But, you know, it's just, it's a little scary because, you know, people are forgetting about, you know, the sleeping giant, if you will, in Grand Theft Auto 6. Since when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, that will probably be when the gaming industry changes forever and not for the good. Because most likely, like what I said, GTA 6 will be retailed at $100, I would assume, for the base version of the game. And then it's like, what are people going to do then? But then, you know, there will be arguments like, well, it's Grand Theft Auto 6. They've worked years on this game. And I know people that still play Grand Theft Auto 5. But then it's, you know, obviously it might be worth spending the $100 for GTA 6. But, you know, like, let's say, for example, like, I can't really think of a game off the top of my head. But let's say, like, for example, like sports games, for example. Like, I play sports games. I don't know how many people will connect to this. But imagine, like, Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, WWE selling their base edition game for $100. Those games don't even feel worth spending $70 on. Imagine having to spend $100 on, and then obviously those games too will sell their digital deluxe editions, or not digital, but deluxe editions, probably soon to be digital deluxe editions, for then what, $150? So it's just, the gaming industry is sort of in a weird state right now. I don't really know what's set to happen. It's going to be a really interesting next few months to follow to see how people go about this, how us, the consumer, goes about this, because, you know, we can, as consumers of the gaming industry, we can sort of control and, you know, use our own self to speak up against this and, you know, boycott it by simply not buying it, by simply not agreeing to these outrageous, unreasonable prices. Because in all fairness, you know, why in the world would you spend $90 for a Mario Kart game? It's just ridiculous. And no offense to Mario Kart, it's just Mario Kart doesn't seem worth $90. And, you know, I guess we'll give Nintendo benefit of the doubt. If you buy the Switch bundle, you get Mario Kart for $50, but then it's just, geez, like $90 retail for Mario Kart? You know, and you can say, well, it accounts for modern day inflation and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, you know, these companies make billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. They can spare $10 extra from listing a game for $70, $60. That's the obvious thing. Like, when people try to defend these price markups, it's completely idiotic. It's, these companies can spare, you know, some dollars, you know, some change to, you know, the consumer. And with stuff getting more and more expensive, like, not trying to even get political, I'm just saying, like, stuff is just getting more and more expensive. You know, and it's just not justifiable to be spending $90 or $100 on games that in the future we may not even own anymore because physical media is seemingly dying, and with the new introduction for the physical cartridge for the Nintendo Switch 2, you don't even own it, and you have to be connected to the internet to even download it. So that completely kills offline play for people who don't have access to the internet. So it's a lot of problems. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy my rant. And I know Persona 5 is really weird, but I enjoy this game. And yeah. Anyways, it's Pineapple Sway. Peace out.